Hey, Soul Survivors. I have Dave Fisher with us tonight, and he has an incredibly interesting and sad story. I reached out to him. I've been following his story, and he's gone through a lot. And a lot of us have gone through some of the same types of things. And just so we know that we're not alone, that others have gone through some of the things. And I'll let Dave go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you're going through.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm Dave Fisher, and I, I I've been married for 23 years, and um, my wife is she was a wonderful person, and she has her good things, and but she's a narcissist, and it's really sad. What I'm going through is, so out of the 23 years I've been married, she's been cheating on me for 13 years. And I have and of course there's always the victim shaming, right? Now, oh, the first time you should be done. What are you doing? You know.
And that a lot of us get
And,
that, like, why can't you just leave? What's wrong with you? Or obviously it doesn't bother you. That once you're in that situation, that it's not that easy sometimes. And the type of people that are attracted to narcissists are the empathetic, where they're like, I try to understand, I try to forgive. I know you and I spoke about religion. Sometimes we feel, turn the other cheek, try to understand the person, don't destroy a family. So it does affect some of our choices. So here, a lot of us understand why you stayed.
right. Yeah, absolutely. And and I've forgiven and forgiven and forgiven, and the some of the people she's cheated on me with, one of them was my attorney, and I am an attorney myself, but I had to engage an attorney for a specific situation. So one of them was my attorney, two of them were my best friends, and one of them was my boss at work.
Oh, wow.
And
So your attorney, friends, and your boss.
yeah, so I just stop bringing them home,
How
and
did you find out?
well, um I when I had a really good job, and really, in fact, my boss was my best friend, a little bit older than me, my best friend, and his family and mine became, you know real tight, real good friends. And my wife likes to be the center of attention, and she was she was became really good friends with him. And something, what I've learned is the heart isn't wrong.
You got those
Something
gut feelings. Yeah.
something told me, and so I called the phone. Just, the phone record showed this, that, that they were communicating like weirdly. And so the way I found out, call me a creep if you want, but I put a recorder in a GPS inside our car, because again, call me,
This is the thing, though, seriously, Dave, is a lot of times, we're trusting people. That trust was broken, or our gut is telling us something. So some of us do start acting out of character. Like, yeah, of course I trust my wife. I'd never do that. And then you're like, whoa, this is out of character. But we also don't want to blame them unknowingly.
Yeah, and in fact, part of what she said in the recording was, "Oh, I can tell my husband anything. He'll believe me anything I say. I can do whatever I want. He'll believe." Those are almost her exact words. I could tell him whatever. I'll tell him, that I was with my cousin, and he'll believe me, and stuff like that. And so anyway, when I approached her with those things, what I found out, what I discovered, she shredded me apart. The whole issue was, how dare I invade her privacy? And I'm thinking,
That's classic.
So how I discovered is worse than what I discovered, and I got to a point where I started bawling, and I'm like, and I apologized to her. Yeah. I cried, and I said, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have invaded your privacy." And and anyway, my boss ended up getting fired from the job. And it was an excellent, wonderful job. And at that point, I spiraled. I spiraled into a deep, horrible depression.
Now, I
And
know you have a TikTok channel. What is the name of your TikTok channel?
so TikTok is a man can be a victim too. That's the
it.
hand. That's
A
the
lot of
handle.
people think that narcissists are only men, but men can be victims of it too.
Yeah, yes, indeed. A man can be a victim too, is what it is. And what I do is I tell, obviously the videos are short, but they're short stories of what has happened, what has happened. Now, I am not without my demons. Now, one thing that if there's, I used to be a jock in high school football and everything like that. It used to be popular type of a thing, a lot of friends and everything like that. And then when we got married, my best friend was my wife. So, she's my best friend, and everything like that. And then anyway, I never thought that my wife would betray me,
Right.
as she did, because I would never betray her ever. And if there's one thing I can, I'm not proud of too many things about myself because I have right now pretty low self-esteem. But if there's one thing I can say I'm proud of myself is I never cheat on my wife. In fact, call me old-fashioned, but I didn't even have sex before I was married. I decided I'm going to save myself for my wife because hopefully she's doing the same for me.
Right. And I know you're a religious man too. Now, I know on your channel, you had mentioned, we're going to get into the story. You have two beautiful daughters, one with a unique situation, and your wife has been extremely abusive to you. And I've been following your story, and I reached out to you because it is so heart wrenching. That I do know that today you shared with me that you lost your job out of outside controls outside of your own. And also you've been trying to get a GoFundMe. You have, I believe, a GoFundMe to help with the costs that are involved. We'll talk about your daughter's unique situation. And if you can give us just that real quick, we'll continue on with the story. But if anybody out there can share to help him protect himself and his children, it will go to court. And those of you who know narcissists know that they can be ruthless. So feel free to share your GoFundMe.
Okay, so yes, yeah. So for GoFundMe, I really need some help, and to assist. My GoFundMe page is GoFund.me. And then it's let's see, it's backslash C322BCEB. So
say that one more time for us.
So GoFund.me, but then the important part is C as in cat 3.
Did you forget the backslash?
Let's see, yeah, GoFund.me / and then C as in cat 322, B as in boy, C as in cat, E as in egg, B as in boy. So GoFund.me / C322 BCEB.
So for our viewers who are considering maybe donating or at least hearing the rest of your story, do you mind telling me a little bit about what's going on with the two girls, the little one? What's the unique situation? I know she's been taking the girls in and out of your life, and
yeah, absolutely. Like my I have an 8. So the ones that live at home, I have an 8-year-old daughter, just adores me, and I love her. And then a 2-year-old little girl, and the 2-year-old little girl, she's 2.5. That little girl is not mine biologically.
she's a cutie, and you have stuck by the relationship. Now, her biological, the sperm donor, is he involved at all? Because I see all the wonderful things you do with her.
No, he's not. Now, of course, part of that is because I say no, but part of it two is, I mean, I don't like to judge other people. I don't like to say I'm better than anybody else, but I mean, if there's a definition of a loser, that's him, and I mean, he's got other women pregnant. He cheats on his own. He's married with 6 kids and himself and he, and then he cheated with my wife, and my wife's been having an ongoing relationship with him.
How did you find out she cheated?
It's funny. It's one of those things where the heart tells you something, and I don't need to dig and or whatever, but I just something. I started to notice things in the house that were, didn't fit me. They're like size triple XL, and stuff like that, and then the one that would come over, and I'm like, yeah, there's something there, there's something going on, and just because my heart told me that, and then my wife she got pregnant, and she, so showed me the little test, and immediately in my heart, I something just told me, and I didn't demonstrate the, excitement, I guess, as a father should, as I normally would. And so she got very angry at me for not being happy that she was pregnant, but I just, okay, fine. I didn't take any further action or whatever during the 9 months of pregnancy. And after baby was born, I worked from home when I had that job. Oh, sorry. And so, I watched that baby get up at 3 a.m. every morning, watch the baby, love the baby, take care of the baby, feed the baby, change the baby, everything you could ever imagine. And I fell in love with the baby, a little human being. She's alive. She's a person. She's a human being. She deserves protection and love and honor and respect, just like any human being. Nothing diminishes her as a person, all because of how she got here.
Now, did you legally adopt her?
Well, under the law, my name is on her birth certificate. And that's the law. My name is on her birth certificate, because if one is married 180 days after, or
okay, during the pregnancy time, if she's pregnant 190 days during the marriage and pregnancy, right?
Right. Yeah. It's something to that effect. And so my name's on her birth certificate. So I have legal, she's my legal daughter. And so now the baby, we named the baby, and what I didn't realize, I'm sick of protecting names. Now I'm not going to give my wife's name, but
yeah, don't use last names. Just if you could do that, don't use last names.
Okay, I won't. Okay, but my baby's name is Meliame Ivani. And my wife is Polynesian, and so all my children's name have Polynesian names. So Meliame Ivani, beautiful name. Well, I later found out that Meliame is her lover's mother's name, and I didn't know that. So she named the baby after the mother of her lover. And that just shattered me, because how could somebody do that to somebody? I mean, and
now,
then
do you think it was out of respect and love for the mother, or do you think that's a beautiful name?
It was because of her, it was because of the mother. It was because of the mother.
See, that's one of those love bombing things too. If she is a narcissist, like, I'm going to get in good with my lover's mother. Does he have lots of money by any chance, or is he just? Oh
no, he's nothing. I'm sure he makes more than me now, because I make nothing. I got to figure something out. But and then Ivani, is the middle name of the baby. What I learned is Evani is the sperm donor's middle name himself.
Oh,
So she named the baby Meliame Evani. And I didn't know where Evani came from. I just
right.
know.
And you're all excited, like, yeah, let's do this. And then you're like, whoa, what did you have me agree to?
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't know that.
Those are those half truths. You know, she can come to you and say, isn't this a beautiful name? But she didn't tell you the true story behind it and got you to agree to it.
Right. Absolutely. That's.
Now, is she involved with the two girls, or, and that you
Yeah,
have two older children? Are they, I know you said they're out of the house, I believe both. Is that a
yeah.
different marriage, or is that's a different marriage or a different situation, different woman?
No, it's the same woman. So, we've been married 23 years and almost 24 years. And so, yeah, they're all the same mother. And and I'm the father except for the sperm donor, but anyway, so in fact, there was one evening just last year. Well, okay, let me start. Let me say something about what happened. And I did say this in one of the videos on my TikTok, but last year, my wife called me crying, saying that she got in a wreck. And of course, regardless of anybody, any husband, any spouse is going to come and I'm going to help you. So I race over there, and I'm racing over there, and so my wife's laying on the ground. She's not injured, but our car is destroyed. It's gone. I mean, it has to take to the junkyard. It's gone. Well, I saw this other truck, this white truck, that had in the back. It had a big dent. So it was a Ford F-150, and it was a big white truck, and it was him. It was the sperm donor.
Oh,
And so I went up to him, and so he was sitting in the car, and the cops were there. So I walked up to the car, and I said, if the cops weren't here, I would beat the living out of you. That's what I didn't care. I would, he's bigger than me. I don't care. He'd probably beat me up. I don't care. I was so angry, and anyway, he just looked at me, and I said, "You're lucky those cops aren't here." And
how did he react to that?
Oh, nothing. He just looked at me and still sat in the car. And so anyway, so I picked up, I got my wife, I put her in my car, put her in the car there, and just, and then the cop was there, and the cop was in front of the car. The cop said, I see you put your wife in the car, but I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to take your wife in I'm going to have to arrest your wife. She intentionally hit that car.
Oh,
And that's criminal battery. And
she hit her lover's car?
yeah, she hit her lover's car on purpose. And the reason why she did was because she found out that he was still having sex with his wife. And he
Now,
promised.
were you two still intimate at that time?
No, we were not. I haven't had sex in 3 years. Let me be honest.
Okay.
And I will not cheat on my wife. It's just me. I'm not better than anybody. That's just me.
Right.
But anyway, he apparently promised her that he wouldn't have sex with anybody except for my wife, for her. But
I wonder if he's a narcissist too. That's.
Oh yeah, they would last real long together, wouldn't they? Yeah. So
Are they real explosive with each other?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they both might be.
My heavens, yeah. So yeah, the reason why she hit him is she told me she wanted to kill him because she found out that he was cheating on her by having sex with his own wife. And I'm just sitting there, are you, oh, I don't matter, whatever, And then, so anyway, I talked to the cop, and the cop was like, you got to understand, I got to arrest her because this is criminal battery. And reckless endangerment, and so anyway, the cop was very kind, and I begged the cop. I said, please don't arrest her. This would ruin her. Don't do that. Please let me deal with this. And the officer's like, well, do you know what's going on between them? And I said, yes, unfortunately, I do, officer. I know what's going on. Just please don't arrest her. And so I talked the officer out of arresting her.
So you're still showing compassion. You're trying to be the protector.
Yeah. I was trying. I just, I just didn't want her to have to suffer through that.
Some of it too is they don't learn their lessons because we kind of enable them.
Yeah, we enable. I am an enabler, absolutely an enabler. And so the cop said, oh, I can't promise he won't press charges later, but okay, I won't arrest her. And he never pressed charges, of course. And so anyway, when we were in the car, I don't remember if it was when we were in the car driving home, but I remember mentioning to my wife, I said, that officer was going to arrest you, and she was just like, oh no, he wasn't going to arrest me. Don't you effing lie to me. And I'm thinking, why didn't I let it happen? She doesn't even believe me. I should have let it happen, but she didn't believe me, but
part of it too, though, is they are so used to lying that they're like, why would he tell the truth on that? That they don't understand. There are times where like, I am telling the truth, and they don't believe it because that's that projecting or who they are inside, how with the mirroring, they'll look at you and they see themselves, and it's interesting how it works, but
right, absolutely. This is as an attorney, I mean, I can say this is why lie detector tests are not admissible as evidence in court.
Yeah.
And they can produce probable cause for arrest type of a thing, but they're not admissible as evidence in court. The reason why is because of narcissists. Narcissists can and do believe their lies.
Right.
The narcissist, if they want to believe that 1 + 1 = 3, they can do it. And if you say in a lie detector test, does 1 + 1 = 3? And they said yes. And if they believe it, they'd pass. So
sociopaths and psychopaths, they don't have the physiological response where their heart starts beating fast, or they don't start sweating. They don't start reacting to it, like breathing. Their respirations don't really change. That they're just like,
yeah,
you can't really test what's going on with their body. And
absolutely.
Lie detectors a lot are based on your physiological response. They don't measure your brain waves, at least from the ones I've studied. They measure your heart rate, or sometimes your precipitation, your sweating. It's the physiological responses, and they don't have it.
Right, absolutely. This is why I myself would suck at a lie detector test, because I cannot sit still. I can't stop, verbalizing my thoughts,
or your face turning red, or your pulse showing.
Yeah, I mean, I would fail a lie detector test even if I'm telling the truth, just because I cannot shut the hell up. I cannot, and stuff like that. But for them, they could just sit there and yes, no, and they'd pass. Even though they're lying their asses off. And so, but let me back up just for a second. Now, I mentioned earlier before we started how I have recorded with my phone so many of her instances of verbal abuse, and I'm actually working on a bill to make narcissistic abuse a crime.
Oh, guys, I did not know that, Dave. I am so glad you're working on a bill please say that one more time. You're working on a bill for what?
I'm working on a bill to make narcissistic abuse a crime. Now, I have heard, of course, the counter arguments. People are saying, "Oh, you can't prove that. Bull crap. You can't control. You can't approve. You can't approve that because, it's if somebody can." I mean, I don't want to, I'm not equating it to rape, but I mean, if somebody can say somebody was raped 20 years ago and still be subject to the criminal aspect of it or civil aspect of it now, when there's no evidence left other than somebody's,
Right.
testimony.
There's no rape kit. There's no this, there's no that. It's
right, absolutely. And it needs to, it must be a crime. I mean, first of all, narcissistic abuse survivors, they talk to therapists. They can waive their right and have the therapist, stand up in court and be an expert witness. There is
now they must waive their rights, though, correct?
Oh, absolutely. That is one.
Can a judge subpoena it without consent?
If narcissistic abuse is a crime, it can be subpoenaed.
Okay, so it has to be in criminal courts, not civil courts.
Right. It can be said. Now, here's the thing. So anyway, there's a lot more elements to it that would allow, that would require, that would have to be required in order for narcissistic abuse to be a crime. But I say at least a Class A misdemeanor, no less than domestic violence, because it is domestic violence. Emotional abuse is absolutely, in my opinion, more than breaking somebody's arm.
I hate to say it, I've been raped more than once.
Oh my!
The narcissistic abuse was worse. Now, I didn't have. I had a gun to my head, but I still said no. So that didn't go through. That rape didn't go through. But so I've had a gun to my head, which I survived, but raped, molested, and the abuse I went through with narcissism was worse than the physical abuse from the rape. Now, there are other women that have had knives or actual gun firings, things like that. So I'm not saying I can't compare the two, but in my experience, the rapes and molestation were far easier to deal with than what the mind fuck. Get fucked either way, but the mind.
Absolutely. That is so interesting you say that. So I'm not the only one who thinks that, that narcissistic abuse should be a crime. And I mean, you have the testimony under oath, under penalty of perjury. You got your therapist talking about, you also have physical evidence such as, cheating does not mean one is a narcissist. However, cheating is an element of narcissism. Now, like everybody has elements of narcissism. Everybody does. But having elements of narcissism does not make somebody a narcissist. For example,
you need 5 out of 9 traits, if not more, and it has to affect your life in some negative way. So like Donald Trump, before Biden got into office. So President Trump, he's on top of the world. He gets whatever woman he wants or this or that. So it's all working for him. He gets these financial deals until it affects you negatively. It is not. And this is what's messed up is, let's say Donald Trump, if he hurts a bunch of people along the way, as long as he's not hurt, it's working for him or whoever. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump's politics. I'm talking.
Right. I got you.
So as long as he's cool with what's going on, he's not going to get an NPD diagnosis.
Right. That's a great point. That's a great point.
And like the divorce, he did divorce. I get them mixed up. Ivana, that could be seen as negative. Or if he's like, well, screw her, I don't want her, he's happy, then it's not negatively affecting him. So it all depends on how the perception is, because they look at how does it affect your life. Like depression is going to cause me not to take care of myself. I'm not going to eat healthy. I'm not going to go to work. I'm not going to spend time with my friends. So it has a negative impact on me. So they want to make sure that for an MPD diagnosis, it has a negative impact on the person. And it's,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
to me, it's crazy that they can go through and destroy a bunch of lives. And like how you want to make it a bill, because I went through something where 3 weeks before our wedding, you know, he backed out. He said he wanted to postpone it and didn't give me a reason why or till when. I already sent out my invitations. You know, we lost out on, we couldn't get back $10,000 of what we put down. And so I got scared. I ended up leaving. He said, what can I do to keep you here? And I said, you know, so anyways, of course, I'm like, did he just have cold feet? Did I handle it wrong? Should I have said this? And so you go through all this cognitive dissonance. And so I'm like, I love you. And can we work it out? And da, da, da. So I called too many times and I love you. I love you. I love you. And I go to jail for 4 days because I called too many.
Yeah, I've been arrested.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter that he destroyed my whole life, cost our family how much money for deposits. You know, he said, I feel bad. I'll do whatever. And I said, well, today's my last dress fitting. Can you just call him? I don't care what you tell him. And he's like, no, and I'm like, you know, I'll do anything. And I'm like, can you just call them? He couldn't even call and make up a story or even just say she can't make it. And that's how, you completely crushed. And he's the one that proposed. It's not like I pushed him into it. We were already living together. And it's like, what happened? There's no incident, no argument. And so it's just interesting that you call and say, I love you. Let's work it out. Now you're going to jail. But somebody who was like, you're out $10,000 plus your dress and this and that and embarrassment contacting your family, and you got to do it all alone. Now you got to find a new place to live. I go to jail for saying I love you too many times. So
no, yeah, I understand. And one thing I do want to state too, and like I said, we all have our own demons, all of us. Like for me, my demon has been abusing Xanax. I have abused Xanax. There is no excuse. I am liable.
Is that an antidepressant? Xanax is an antidepressant, correct?
Anti-anxiety, yeah. And so if you take too many, you get intoxicated.
Okay.
And so I have abused that not very, very, very many times. And there is never an excuse for that. Now here's
let me tell you this real quick, though. I do want to interject. Be careful. Get that cleaned up or it'll affect your court date.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm in therapy for it and everything like that.
Does it cause physiological addiction?
Is it what?
Do you go through withdrawal if you don't have enough?
I don't. It's on and off. But so it's not. It hasn't caused a physiological withdrawal type of a thing. But I mean, I have abused it. Type of a thing, and like what when I screw up, when I do that. What I will immediately do, get on my knees and pray to God for forgiveness and beg God for forgiveness. Tell him I screwed up. And then I even call my bishop, my ecclesiastical leader. I call him, I tell him, Bishop, I screwed up again. Help me out, and so, that is screwing up like that an element of narcissism? Absolutely. But the difference between, I think, in my opinion, a narcissist and a non-narcissist, because we both screw up, but is a narcissist will justify, excuse, and blame and say, I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
In fact, my wife has specifically told me, you are the reason why I cheat on you.
And
You
that's
are
a
the reason why I
classic
am the
phrase
way I
they tell
am.
you.
And
Whether
and
it's what you look like or how much money you make, or you didn't cuddle enough on Friday nights, or you didn't plan romantic things. No, the commitment is, this is what we're doing. We're going to have good days. We're going to have bad days. But Dave, I want to say something to you, because I know you're struggling and you've been hurting for a long time. I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to forgive yourself, because I know you're a religious person too. Let go and let God. It's okay. God knows you're human, you know? And
yeah,
that's the hardest part. Like, a lot of us are really good people. Either we start acting out of character, or we get lost or scared, turning to certain things, and we're like, whoa, I shouldn't have done it. And a lot of us, I'd like to know a little bit about, just super quick, your childhood, because congratulations, you're an attorney. I went to law school too. And sometimes I have the good girl syndrome, where I have to be the good girl. And based on the fact that you've achieved something pretty cool, you were a jock. I don't know if your parents encouraged you to be kind of top dog, or if that's just your personality. Sometimes our parents push us into certain things. And
it kind
sometimes
of was my personality. I have 4 older sisters and 2 younger brothers, and I just decided this is what I wanted, type of thing. And
so do you
and
feel that you have to live up to other people's expectations, or are you confident in your choices, as far as, if you said you're not working as an attorney right now, you need to get a new job. Would you feel a failure if you were a manager somewhere? Like, is your
no,
identity in your job?
no, I wouldn't. Again, I would, so kind of the reason why I became an attorney was so I can utilize the skills from law school, as opposed to go to court,
Okay. Can I ask what type of law?
So it's contract law, it's compliance law.
When I was in law school, I did not like contracts.
Oh yeah, see, I love it. Yeah,
I like torts and criminal law. That's what I like.
and then interstate compliance, I just I just absolutely love it. I don't want to go to court type of thing, but yeah, just
So what would you need to get a bill passed? Would you need a petition, or
yes,
how many
yes.
signatures? Is there a certain amount, and is it?
No, it's thousands, and I have a goal to get every single one of them. I mean, it's to put that on the ballot, and that's what I want, because I know that there are enough narcissistic abuse, narcissistic
Victims. Yeah.
victims. There it is. Victims out there that would gladly sign and say, yes, it should be a crime. And I'm not the type of person that thinks the government should handle everything, but when it comes to protecting those who get hurt, especially in such situations, then
Especially when it's on purpose.
yeah, yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
There are times I might be like, oh, you look ugly in that outfit. I'm like, oh, that was kind of rude. But if I'm sitting here setting you up, giving you the clothes, taking your money to buy you something that's going to make you look like a fool, encouraging you to do it, it's not just a oops, slip of the tongue and that was rude. It's like, you set that person up. Like, sometimes if I want to feel like the pretty one, that, like if it's a narcissist, they can purposely destroy someone. And I think, what it's like in court. Intent makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And my little, like that little, my little baby, my little 2-year-old, my wife has threatened more than once that, oh, she's not your baby, I'm going to take her away. I'm like, no, I mean, first of all, if I have to involve CPS, then I will, because I'm what's best in her life. And, and I've been raising her for 2.5 years, and there's just nothing is going to take her away from me. Nobody is.
CPS is Child Protective Services. Does Child Protective Services honor the birth certificate?
They do, however, their goal is what is in the best interest of the child, you
Right.
know, and so, I mean, yes, I have my demons. Yes, I've abused addicts and everything like that. But I'm taking therapy. I'm doing therapy and everything like that, and making sure it's not going to happen again, and stuff like that. And so, and you know, but she's still cheating. But to her, it's not cheating, and up until 2019, adultery was a felony, in this state, in Utah.
You
And,
do. Okay. I'm in
and
Michigan. I know we have different laws based on different states.
And then Utah is one of the 5 states in the union left that also has the homewrecker laws, which I will utilize absolutely, which allows you to sue your spouse plus the lover or lovers for
Right.
alongside, however, not included in, but alongside the divorce petition.
I know they did that. I want to say in Europe. I've read something about that. Do you know how many states in the United States do that? The home.
Yeah, just 5, just 5 states allow
all
that.
can't use them.
Utah's one of the, I don't know what other states, but I know Utah does, and I am going to use it. Because I do feel defrauded. I do feel, and it's also loss of consortium and loss of affection, things like that I've lost.
Is it IIED, intentional infliction of emotional distress?
Yes. So negligent infliction of emotional distress, intentional infliction of emotional distress, fraud, loss of consortium, and there's one other, and I'm trying to think of what it is. But anyway.
Let me ask you this though, on the IIED, what is the difference between that and kind of the bill you're going for? Because intentional infliction of emotional distress, like I can't call you up and go, your grandma died, and make you believe it. And they go, I was just joking. And because that could cause you possibly to be suicidal or possibly to crash your car when you're going to your sister's to tell her about it. What's the difference between what you are going for with the bill and IIED?
So, yeah, intentional infliction of emotional distress, total civil, where the only thing you're going to get.
It's not criminal. You're going for criminal?
Yeah, I'm going for criminal. So I mean,
civil gets you money, criminal can.
Yeah, criminal gets you jail time. So here's the thing, because of the homewrecker laws, the narcissism is included therein, actually, because basically the same thing that you get from narcissism is what are included in the homewrecker laws. So there's intentional infliction of emotional distress, there's negligent infliction of emotional distress, there's fraud, there's financial abuse is narcissism, things like that. There's alienation of affection is the other thing too.
Right.
And that
could be like the alienation of affection for some of those who don't know what that is. Let's say I have a child with a narcissist and they're turning this child against me. So the kid wants nothing to do with me. They are taking away the affection. It could be different things. They can have my sister alienated from me based on their lies. So they're taking people away from me who would love me based on what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that unfortunately is something my wife has done. In fact, for 10 years, my parents live in Oregon. Because my wife doesn't like them, in order to respect my wife, I didn't talk to my parents for 10 years.
That's that isolation. They use that to control you, to isolate you.
These
are your parents. Did you have a beef with your parents? Did you have a problem with them?
No, I didn't. She did. Yeah, but so I felt I need to stand by my wife, and then I just thought, you know what? It's going to take me years to admit I'm being abused, longer to even tell anybody, longer to even ask for help,
Have you talked to your parents about it?
Yeah. I showed them my TikToks and talked to them, and they've been so loving. My 4 older sisters, they love me, and
You got a good support system. Make sure you use it, you know.
Oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do right now. I gotta get this job. I gotta get but anyway, sorry, I'm just thinking out loud.
And what I want you to do is you know, take some time to kind of regroup, and it's going to happen for you. You're extremely intelligent. There's going to be opportunities. Um, but I know like it just happened probably what, 3 hours ago that you lost
yeah,
your job.
yeah,
How long
yeah.
did you work at the firm?
For a year, and I was doing great, you know, and I was
Was
their
that right
compliance.
after the cheating with your ex attorney? Well, did you work for your attorney, or did you have I'm trying to remember. I know you had an attorney.
Yes, that was years ago
Okay.
that happened, and I didn't find out that happened
You said your
until 5 years
boss.
after it happened, and so I was working with that attorney for 5 years, not knowing that this guy standing right next to me has done this to me, you know, and was doing this to me, and I mean, what humiliation, what it just, how much it just hurt, and you know, and all I get told is, "Oh, you handled it wrong. You're such a pussy. You handled it wrong."
Who's telling you that?
My wife.
What did she want you to handle different?
I don't know. In fact,
You mean that you might have cried or something like that? Is that what
yeah,
she's okay?
yeah. In fact, I ended up suing that attorney, and I got money out of him, you know, for it.
What'd you sue him for?
Um, I sued him for first of all, fraud. He had me sign an agreement that that was the basis of which was entirely fraudulent.
Okay.
And so I don't want to get much more into
No,
that,
that's
but
fine. I just meant like a civil
that's
thing,
what it
or
was. And so I sued him for it, and I ended up, you know, stupidly giving the money to my wife. And then her answer to that was, "Why didn't you sue him for more?"
oh, and this was also somebody she slept with?
Yeah.
Whoa, so she has no loyalty to the the fun guy, the sidekick, whatever you want to call him. And she's using you to get more money, and so she's just doing it to do it. It's not like she's like, oh, should I cheat on my husband, but I'm in love or have deep feelings. She's trying to use that person too. And that's where you know, there are people who make mistakes. Maybe they cheat, but they have remorse. They get devastated, like, whoa, what did I do? I can't do that again. But somebody sometimes they think it's a game. So some narcissists will admit to it, like, yeah, fuck them. You know, and others are like, no. So you can't just go, were they truthful about it? Some will be truthful, like, yeah, motherfucker, I fucked them. You know, just to
Yeah.
get you vote.
And she denied everything. In fact, like when I got the DNA test for the baby, I waited a month before I even brought it to my wife. I knew for a month, you know, with baby, and I was watching her and loving her and everything like that. And then a month later, I decided maybe this is the right time. And so I recorded it with my phone. I recorded. She didn't know I was recording it, but I recorded the conversation just to prove I was going in there lovingly and respectfully. Anyway, her response was, "Oh, you're so effing evil. You're such a fucking. You're so evil. Most people get their baby a blanket for their birthday, and you you give her a fucking a DNA test. What is wrong with you? That's wrong anyway. It's not wrong. You are the father. You are the father." And so I doubted myself. And I walked out crying. I walked out doubting myself. I walked out, what if I am wrong? You know? And then so I had to get another DNA test.
And that's where it starts wearing you down. You're like, whoa, we start questioning everything. We start apologizing, and we didn't want to upset them, but when we get upset, we don't get the same support. We get cut down even more. So you're already hurt. You're already brought down a little bit, and she slams you down further. And I'm sure when you were going through that, that's pretty low, pretty trying on your emotions to even go further when you're like, oh, at least, give me something like, I'm sorry I cheated, but we're going to work through this. Or I love you. I was confused, but I at least love you. Like, there's nothing. It's like, you're just a dummy. You're
Right.
the idiot. So there's not even anything that is somewhat comforting, not that being cheated on and saying I'm confused between the two of you, but at least it's like, you don't feel like complete garbage, but
Right. I mean, it's so, how do you forgive somebody who A, isn't sorry, or no, A, won't admit to it, B, isn't sorry, C, keeps doing it, and D, blames you for it?
Now, have you guys talked about a divorce?
Oh yeah. I mean,
How long has it been?
we're on our way. It's happening, and that's why I have the GoFundMe, because it's just.
I spent $190,000 in court.
How much?
My ex was a state cop. $190,000 in court. He put 59 police reports against me. None of them involved drugs, alcohol, or violence. He had like all his cop buddies writing whatever, and went through 4 custody battles. Only was it 5 to 6% of divorces go to custody, and we were never even married, so we went 4 times. So
was there any infidelity?
I'm not sure.
Oh, so that wasn't part of an issue anyway.
No, that's okay. I don't know. He moved on pretty quick though. So I don't know.
Oh, man, I'm not. Oh my gosh, what a day.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, I know you've had a really rough day, and I would like to talk to you some more.
Please, yes.
When you're available. I'm gonna sign off right now. And I'd like to talk to you on the phone before we say goodnight. Okay. So don't leave yet. To my viewers, I thank you so much. He has so much more to say, and it is devastating. There are children involved, and I would like to talk to you some more. So Dave, one more time, what is your GoFundMe?
So
and the reason I'm endorsing this, normally you guys have seen,
I appreciate this.
I've done other podcasts, but this is the first time I've allowed somebody to put a GoFundMe up, because his story is something I've been following for a very long time, and he's very open. He will tell you everything about what's going on. And as you can see right here, he's like, yeah, I have done stuff with Xanax. I'm not perfect. I did tell that guy I would punch him in the face, because, we do act out of character. So if we can show him a little bit of grace, realize he's in therapy, he is struggling. And if you guys are so inclined, Dave, what was it one more time?
Well, thank you so much. So from the GoFundMe page, it's gofund.me / C322 B as in boy, CEB. So C322 BCEB.
So if you guys would like to hear more about his story, if you're still kind of on the fence, should I donate, should I not? Or just what else is you have to say, we'll be doing some more podcasts. So Dave, I'm gonna sign off with everybody, give you a call, and thank you guys. One-on-ones are available, topic requests are welcome, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.
All right, thanks. So I'll wait for a call. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.